You know calculation. You never mind that.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. It's good to see that quite a few of you have joined well within time or on time. I really appreciate all of you. It would be great if you could have the video on. Can I have few of the participants kindly have the video on, please? Because as speakers, we derive a lot of energy looking at your lovely faces and expression. Okay, I can see Dinesh Mandhur. Let me see who else have got their video on. Venkateshan, thank you. So this is a new platform for me. Usually I'm very used to Zoom, but still I'm sure that we'll all get a hang of it. Kindly be on mute unless you want to ask any question. This will be an interactive session, so you don't have to wait till the end of the session to ask any specific question as such. Or if there's anything, you can type it in the chat box. So quickly, I would like to know where you are all joining. So this is my way of figuring out if the audio and video is clear. Can you all type in the chat box the name of the city or the town or the village that you are logging in from? Which city or town or village are you joining? Chennai, Maila. Oh, I can hear my own echo. Can someone, Shashi, can you please make sure everyone is on mute? So we've
Yes, sir.
got people
Yes, sir.
from Pune, Hyderabad, Patna, Hyderabad. Okay, great. Good to know. Mahabub Nagar. Okay, interesting. Thank you for typing in that. Uh, Rajakumar, Kotagundam. Okay, great. So let's get started. I'll not be sharing my screen. Pretty much everything will appear in this particular window. As I said, let's keep this session as interactive as possible. Still, I can hear some disturbance at the background, Shashi. So kindly make sure, in case someone has not gone on mute, please
Yes,
put
sir.
them on. Thank you. There was this boy. This is a real life story, and this happened back in 1946 in Korea. So back then there was no North Korea or South Korea. There was one country called Korea, and this a small boy who was around 8 years old. He lost his father at a very young age. His mother and his only younger sister was in the family. So mother was struggling to put food in front of these two children that she had, and she had to do all kinds of work, but still she was struggling. So this boy had to do some work, and he went about distributing newspapers. Now this was back in 1948. He used to go to the news agency. The newspaper used to give him 50 newspapers, and he used to go knock the door, give the newspaper. They used to give him the money. He used to give the change, and that is how it continued. After a few weeks, with the small commission that he was making, he realized with this money, I cannot really become rich, or I cannot have sufficient money to take care of my mother and my sister. How can I make this 50 newspaper to 100 newspapers, which means how can I distribute from 50 newspapers to 100 newspapers every single day? He was thinking, an idea came to his mind. He figured out that he was spending a lot of time exchanging the money. Let's say the newspaper was costing 15 paisa, 1 5. Back this was 1948. People they were never giving 15 paisa. They used to give him 20 paisa, 25 paisa, or 50 paisa, and he was struggling for change. So next day he took all those 5 paisa, 10 paisa change. So the transaction got quick, and he was able to distribute 100 newspapers. After a few weeks, he wanted to make sure he can distribute 200 newspapers instead of 100 newspapers. Another idea came to his mind. This was again back in 1948. Houses, they were not next to each other. So he decided to rent a bicycle so that he can carry 200 newspapers at the back of that bicycle. And from that day onwards, he was able to distribute 200 newspapers. He was not satisfied. He wanted to now figure out how he can distribute 400 newspapers. Another idea struck him. Early in the morning, the first thing people would like to know or read is the newspaper. So there is no rush. So everyone would like to see what's happening. what he did from that day onwards is he went, knocked the door, gave the newspaper. When people were about to give the money, he said, wait, I'll come back after 9 or 10 o'clock and I'll collect the change, because people are not going to vacate their home in few hours. So from that day onwards, he was able to distribute 400 newspapers. After a few weeks, he wanted to distribute 800,000 newspapers. Another idea struck him. He said, why is it I'm collecting money every single day? Probably I can do it end of the week, or probably I can do it end of the month, or I can collect it at the beginning of the month. He was the one who brought in this concept of monthly payment. He was around 10 years old, and imagine a boy of 10 distributing more than 1,000 newspapers, and now he has got his friends who are distributing on his behalf. He was making a lot of money, which usually boys of his age, they don't. When he was collecting all the money, many people said, you should buy this, you should buy that. And he said, no, I would like to build a company that is going to build ships. I want to have a ship manufacturing business. Of course, a day came when he started his own ship building business. This is the gentleman. He passed away 15 years back. His name was Kim Won Chung, and the company he started was called Daewoo. Some of you, if you are were around in 90s, they had a company called Daewoo, car called CLO and Mattis. Initially, the company started manufacturing ships. When this gentleman was interviewed and he was asked, how could you come up with so many ideas? How could you be so entrepreneurial? How could you build such a large company and had so many different diverse businesses? He said, it is all about finding that idea, ensuring that you have scrutinized that idea, and then you have filtered all that idea and looked at that idea from all different perspectives. And once it's ready, once it's set, you go after it, you just focus and you ensure it works. In today's session, that is exactly what we will be doing. We will be figuring out how, not just to come with an idea. All of us, we can come up with a dozen ideas every single day. But are those ideas worth taking that risk? Are those ideas worth pursuing further? Are those ideas worth filtering and spending the time and energy and investing and making sure that we come up with a profitable business out of it? Now, what comes to your mind when you hear the word entrepreneur? Type in that one word that comes to your mind when you hear the word entrepreneur, or feel free to unmute yourself. What are those words that comes to your mind when you hear the word entrepreneur? You can unmute yourself. I hope, Shashi, they can unmute if required.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good to know. Or you can also type in the chat box. What comes to your mind when you hear the word entrepreneur? Okay, I can see some of you are typing in some messages here. Businessman, business owner, what else? Who solves real problems and provide new innovations. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you for sharing that, Anumula. A single person with worthy innovation idea. Okay, innovation of an idea that doesn't solve, or I believe you were saying it does solve. Okay. Now, you're all talking about innovation. You're talking about solving real world problem. Do you think an entrepreneur needs creativity? I'm sure all of you will say yes. Now, the question is, what is creativity? Creativity is connecting two things that was not previously connected. Like, for example, in one of the events, someone gave me this. It's a wooden piece which has got this shape where it is cut. Now, what can I do with it? One, I can keep my mobile phone, I can keep my tablet, or probably I can use it as a paperweight. So someone used that creative idea in coming up with this. So definitely, idea needs creativity, which means creativity is connecting two things that other people didn't connect previously. Do you think all creative ideas are innovative? Do you think all creative ideas are useful? Please answer yes or no. Do you think all creative ideas will be useful? Naveen, Anand, they're all saying no, no, which means anyone can come up with creative idea. And ideas, we keep coming up with it every single day. But all those ideas may not be useful. If those ideas are useful, that becomes innovation. So innovation is connecting three dots. Innovation is creativity which has value, which adds value to the end customer. That's innovation. Now, just because we have come up with an innovative idea, will it work? I'm sure if you have seen Shark Tank or any startup, or you have read it in the news, you have seen a video, I'm sure you would be telling your friend, or you might have a friend who would have said, you know what, 6 months back I had a very similar idea. 1 year back I had thought about this. Okay, you thought about it, you were creative, you were innovative, but what happened? Just because we are creative and innovative doesn't make us an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a person who brings in that creativity, which means who sees opportunity that other people have missed, who is able to connect two dots that was not previously connected, and they will ensure that they add value to that idea, which means they add value to the end customer who will be benefiting from that idea. And most importantly, they will go about executing that idea irrespective of the resources. If people say that I don't have money to start this, I'm sorry, then we'll always probably remain creative and innovative, not doing much. I call them as entrepreneurs. They want to do something, but end of the day, they don't do anything. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, yes, you will have to be innovative. You will have to be creative, who will come up with those ideas. And end of the day, you have to ensure that you execute, irrespective of the resources. So in India, we have this word called jugaad. With less money, with less budget, how can we still get the desired outcome? Chandrayaan, ISRO was an amazing example. They had a shoestring budget, Chandrayaan mission. And the money, the budget that was allocated was the same budget that was allocated in making one Hollywood movie called Martians. So US, they were ready to spend so much of money in Hollywood for that movie. With the same budget, they were able to launch the Chandrayaan mission, which means now with limited resources, they were pushed to think creatively. So creativity plus innovation plus execution, that makes you an entrepreneur. So now let's say you have come up with an idea. Let's say you think it is creative, it is innovative. You think it's a very creative and innovative idea. My idea is my best idea. It's like asking any parent, which is the most beautiful baby in the world. Every parent will say, my baby is the most beautiful baby in the world. Similarly, we'll all say, my idea is the most beautiful idea, creative idea, innovative idea, unique idea. But again, when we take that idea into reality, when we come up with that product or service which the end customer is going to use, are they able to see value? That is what matters. So before we even take that path of focusing more on the idea, let us learn how to filter those ideas. So various tests are there to filter these ideas. I used to invest in startups. I used to raise funds for startups we had. I'm still part of few angel networks, but these days I don't invest in startups anymore. It is mainly family businesses making over 50 crores kind of a turnover. Anyway, when people pitch ideas, because I've worked closely with many investors, many VC firms, and have seen how they go about scrutinizing an idea. All of you might have heard of this thing called as elevator pitch. So which means, can you tell me about your idea in just 15, 20, 30 seconds, less than a minute? So when someone shares that particular idea, the investor will be thinking, is it really worth giving an appointment for this founder or founders so that I can hear more about what is that they want to do with this idea? How do they want to execute this idea? So here are the tests. One is called as AMR. Is your idea achievable, measurable? The third thing is very critical. Is it repeatable? Okay. In fact, what I'm thinking is rather than making it as a lecture, how about we have some interaction? Can I have one or two of you who would like to share your idea if you're comfortable? Are you already working on an idea, or do you have an idea that you would like to share? And I would like to use that as an example to explain these concepts. Otherwise, it will be like a one-way lecture. Who would like to share? If you would like to share, please type in me in the chat box, and I would like to uh, hear what your idea is all about. Anyone would like to share your idea with us so that we can use that as an example to understand these concepts? Okay, so we have Jayavarshan who's typed in D-Twin is a smart B2B platform built for dietitians and wellness professionals to manage and scale their practice effortlessly. Instead of juggling PDFs and WhatsApp chats, they get to centralized dashboard to create personalized plans, monitor client progress, and stay connected through a dedicated mobile app. It's like having a digital twin of each client's lifestyle, tracking meal, activity, sleep, health, blah, blah, blah. We have dietitians deliver better outcomes. Okay, great. So Jayavarshan, it looks like you have been working on this idea, and I'm sure you have copied and pasted this particular brief about your company. So Jayavarshan, with what I understand, with what he has, the idea that he's working on is he would like to come up with an app. And on that app, the dietitians and wellness professionals, they can keep track of what's happening with their clients. What did they eat, with whatever they have eaten, the way they have exercised, number of hours of sleep, so on and so forth. On this app, it all gets measured. So the dietitians, they don't have to wait for the client to pretty much tell them what has worked, what has not worked. They can check simply on the app and they will know what exactly is happening. I hope I have got that right, Jayavarshan. Meanwhile, Anand Kumar has said, I have an idea that creating stunning marketing materials and brand asset with graphic designing using AI, which creates uniqueness and time saving. So Anand has got an idea where he would like to leverage AI, artificial intelligence, and come up with a platform. And as you know, today you just give that gist of what is that you want, and you ask the AI to come up with an image or a video, and you have those marketing materials ready. Okay, let's take these two ideas as of now. One is an app, another is a platform where people can prompt with a lot of ideas, resources with regards to instructions, and then it comes up with a marketing material. Ask yourself, is this idea achievable? Is it measurable? And what is that we can measure? We can only measure numbers. And the third thing is very critical. Is it repeatable? Can you repeat whatever you have done in, let's say, one geographical location or in one particular market? Can you repeat the same thing everywhere? And that's why today we see a lot of apps mushrooming everywhere simply because there is no geographical boundary as such. But if you want to manufacture something, our family business is in manufacturing carton boxes, corrugated boxes. So if we have to scale it up every time, we need to have another place where we have to have a manufacturing setup and investment on machines. So it becomes challenging to repeat the same thing again and again with ease. Now, again, what we are doing as of now is we are filtering the ideas. And again, there is nothing called as good idea or bad idea. There are ideas that work and ideas don't work. Ideas that don't work doesn't mean it's a bad idea. Probably it needs more tweaking so that it starts working in that particular environment. Just because it is working today doesn't mean that it will work tomorrow. We have to be creative and we have to keep coming up with more innovative ideas to improvise it. The next test is what I call as O's test. OPM, OPA, OPT. Do you have an idea where you will be using OPM? What is OPM? Other people's money. Do you have an idea where you'll be using OPA, which means using other people's asset? Do you have an idea where you'll be using OPT, other people's time? Can you think of a startup which is now a unicorn, which uses all these three, OPA, OPT, OPM? If yes, type in your answer. I'm sure all of us, we use many of them on a daily basis. Can you think of those startups who have gone about using all these three? Other people's money, other people's asset, other people's time. Rajkumar is saying debt, PVC. I didn't get that, Rajkumar. Who do you think, which startup do you think has gone about using all of this? Now, if you have to commute from one place to another in any city or most of the cities, what app will you use? Which app do you use? If you want to deliver something from one place to another place, which app do you use? Again, all the Olas and Ubers and Airbnb and Oyas of the world, they use this. They use other people's money. They use other people's asset. They use other people's time. So ask yourself, are you using that? Next, there is something called as Delta 4. This is something that I learned from Kunal Shah. You might have heard this company called Cred. So Kunal Shah is the founder of that. Before that, he started a company called Easy Pay, which he sold for $1 billion. So he's a serial entrepreneur, investor, and he came up with this concept of Delta 4. Now, what is Delta 4? Let me ask you this question. Imagine back in 2010, if you had to book a railway ticket. Back in 2010, if you had to book a railway ticket, what was the option? The option was you had to go to that IRCTC place. So it was there in most of these cities, in most of the area that you live, and you had to stand in the queue. And you have to tell them where you're going and then book it. And your confirmation, Tatkala, all the same things used to happen. And at 5 o'clock, they used to close, which means all the server used to be shut at 5 o'clock. So if you missed booking within 5, then you're gone. You missed the train. As a customer, on a scale of 1 to 10, as a customer, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you rate your experience with that solution that we had back in 2010? So the solution we had back in 2010, when booking a railway ticket, we had to go to a place, stand in the queue, give the money, exchange the change, and hope that within 5 o'clock it was getting confirmed. How much would you rate your customer experience on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being very poor, 10 is like excellent, awesome. I want to keep using it again and again. So Jaya version is saying 4. Okay. So now fast forward, we are in 2020, or probably I think it was somewhere in 2015, I suppose, when the internet was pretty well and everyone was started using smartphone. Now what happened by then is the solution that was offered, you can book your own ticket going on the internet, which means you can do it 24/7, provided you have an internet. Now, as a customer, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you rate your experience with the option that you have where you can book anytime, anywhere, the railway ticket? So the same Jai version is saying 8. So initially he said 4, now he's saying 8. How much is 8 minus 4? That's called Delta 4, which means when the customer experiences the solution that they have today, if it has this Delta 4, then few things will happen. 1, they will never go back to their old habit. I'm sure you would have experienced while booking the railway ticket online on the app crashed, or there was some internet issue. And in the last moment when we were about to make the payment again, you had to start from scratch. We didn't say, hell with this, let me delete this app. I don't want to use this internet or booking online. I want to go there and stand and book a ticket. Did we do that? No. Which means the habit becomes irrevocable. And the most important thing is, the moment you start experiencing Delta 4 with this solution, you will start telling people, hey, there's a new solution. You don't have to go and book a ticket. No, you can do it online. Seriously, you're so old school. Use the latest technology. So do you have an idea which has Delta 4? So Jayavarshan, Anand, the idea that you have of coming up with that mobile app for dietitians and wellness, for coming up with the stunning marketing materials, is there a Delta 4? So the solution that you are offering, how is it going to be so different and unique from what people are already experiencing? Or is it something that they can go back and probably you will have a lot of competitors around? Next, 3M test. What are those 3 M's? Mirror, mother, media. Can you stand in front of yourself and ask yourself, okay, I have an idea and this is the product or service that I would be buying. If I had to buy, will I really buy it? Will I use my own platform to track my health? Will I use my own platform to build all this marketing materials? That's mirror, asking ourselves these tough questions. Mother, can you go and share it with, when I say mother, now someone in the neighborhood, all the mothers in the neighborhood, can you go and tell them so that they understand and they're so proud and they can go about telling anyone and everyone? Which means, is your idea so simple for people to understand? Media. Now, what do media would like to report? Breaking news, the latest thing. Here is the latest app that is in the market. Here is the latest platform that is in the market. Only if it is unique, media would like to put it out there because they want to grab the attention. So do you have an idea where media will pick it up? Again, something to think about. Then we have something called a toothbrush test. How many times do we brush our teeth? At least 2 times. Similarly, the product or service that you're offering, will people use it on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, or is it just one-off? With what Jayavarshan is planning to come up, that particular app, I'm sure people will be using it on a daily basis, if not weekly basis. Whereas Anand Kumar, your stunning marketing materials that will be generated on your platform, will they be using it on a weekly basis or a monthly basis? Again, keep thinking. Your ideas, how many of these boxes will it tick? There's something called as laziness test. And today, most of the apps, most of the solutions which really hits the market are those which will make people more comfortable, kind of lazy. So I just want to click here, here, here. I want the output. Which means you'll have to spend so much of time in the back end, ensuring that everything is getting tracked. I was watching this documentary about Amazon. They had several brainstorming sessions on several ideas internally that they were coming up with. And they said it was on that particular day when they got the clarity, which is they visualizing, let's say 11 o'clock at night, someone has got a desire to buy something. They saw an ad and they're like, okay, I like this chair, office chair. And tomorrow morning when I work at 10 o'clock, when I start work at 10 o'clock, I would love to sit on this chair. They have just that desire. The moment someone has that kind of a desire, how quickly we at Amazon can make sure that that person will go about selecting the chair, ordering a chair, making the payment for the chair, and then we at the back end contacting those people who will be selling the chair, and tomorrow morning before 10 o'clock, the chair will be delivered. How can we ensure that comfort, that kind of laziness? No, rather than this person getting up in the morning and going to a showroom and choosing and buying a chair, which usually doesn't happen. So do you have an idea that will make people more comfortable, more lazy? And again, all ideas that we are going to come up will not go according to plan. So what's your plan B and what's your plan C? Jayavershan is thinking his target market as dietitians and professionals. What if not many people are taking up? What's your plan B? What's your plan C? Do you have a different target market? Now, Anand Kumar might be thinking, you know what, I'm in a B2B business. Probably businesses will be using my stunning marketing materials. Okay, what's your plan B, plan C if they're not going to use? Who else might use it? Where else can you promote it? Where is your money? Who has your money? This is how you initially screen an idea. Any questions at this stage? Anyone would like to ask something? Are we good to continue? Yes, no? If yes, can you type in yes so that I know you're all still in front of your screen and listening to what I'm saying? Okay, thank you, Jayavershan. Bhagyalakshmi, Navin Kumar, great. Thank you for responding. Now, what to look forward in an idea? So when you come up with an idea and you want to convert that idea into a startup or a business, which means now you want to invest and do something with that idea, not just money, but also your time. So here are the 10 things, 10 questions that you need to ask yourself, and you need to be very clear about these things. The first question is, again, I think someone had mentioned earlier, what is the problem that you are solving? What is the problem? What problem are you solving? Many people are not very clear about this. Is it something that only I am experiencing? So what is that problem? What is the big problem you're trying to solve? Do people really want this problem to be solved? Are you able to foresee a problem in the future that needs to be solved? These are visionaries who can visualize that, you know what, this is where the market is heading. When in 2030, 2035, 2040, 10, 15 years from now, with all this AI, everything that is happening, the way we are going to live our life, do business will entirely change. And that will come up with a different set of problems. So do you have an idea? Are you able to foresee that problem? And are you working on that idea? Today, we have all this payment apps. When did they start? They didn't start during COVID. They were working on that idea back in 2008, 9, 10. There were no people taking it. But they kept pushing, they kept pushing, they kept pushing. They somehow survived. And then, boom, when we had people using the smartphones and the internet and 5G, it picked up. And of course, COVID gave them a huge push as well. So, what is the problem you're trying to solve? Next, what is the solution? And again, how simple is that solution? Do you have the delta 4 with that solution? What's unique? Why should someone buy your solution, not someone else? Why should someone go and download the app that Jayavershan has come up with and not some other app? Why should I go to Anand Kumar's platform to come up with those stunning marketing materials when I have got Canva or something else? So what's your solution? Who is the customer? Who has this problem? Who is looking for an alternative solution? How badly do they want the problem to be solved? Now, many people are very comfortable with the problem. They're okay with it. In India, something that I have observed, still we don't really appreciate and value quality. We are okay. Kaam chal raha hai, let's go with it. Oh, this particular product, there's some defects. I'll still somehow use it. It's fine. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Many people are very comfortable with that problem. Just because for me it looks like a problem, others may be comfortable with it. So this is where, don't be stuck with your idea saying my baby is the most beautiful baby in the world. Detach and see if people are able to see value in what you're offering. What is your value proposition? So what are you proposing that people are able to see value in it compared to whatever solution that is already existing in the market? Why you and not someone else? And today, if you want to buy anything online, immediately, no, on Amazon or any other app, it will say, here are the other things to consider. People also bought this. So you go about searching and then you go with 4.5 rating, who has given what kind of comment. You do all this research. So you're trying to figure out who has already found value. Is there a value in what I'm going to buy in this? So what's your value proposition? How will you make money? If you're in a service industry, again, the app which Jaya version is coming up with, okay, it is for dietitians and wellness professionals. But how are you going to make money? Will you make money by charging them a monthly subscription? Is it an annual subscription, or is it depending on number of users, or is it absolutely free? And then with the data that you're going to collect, are you going to market it or ask people in the wellness industry or who have wellness products? Will it be through advertisement? How will you make money? How many different streams of revenue will you be able to come up with? And again, are they measurable? Is it based on your skill set, capability? Do you have a team who can do it? Many people will come up with great idea. Now, recently I was interacting with one of my participant. Now they have a manufacturing setup, huge manufacturing setup. Grandfather started back in 70s. They said, Chinmay, now we are coming up with this AI on how to automate the whole process of manufacturing. And we want to build a separate unit, separate business altogether. And ask them, who are the engineers? Who has got that ability to do that AI thing? Oh no, with the existing software team who had built this ERP, they are trying to do it. I said, I'm a bit skeptical, sorry. Because whatever you come up today with AI, it will be outdated tomorrow. It is at that pace, the technology is getting obsolete. Do you have that kind of a skill set, capability to adapt and stay relevant? Is it legal? Again, in Jaya version's case, the app will be collecting a lot of data. Now, there are certain things that he can reveal, certain things that he should not be revealing. There are certain things that he should not be giving as an advice. Is it legal? So does he need to have a doctors who can recommend something? I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm just asking you, is it legal? Now on Anand Kumar's platform, where people can come up with those stunning marketing materials. Okay, let's say someone is going to use that Mickey Mouse or Tom and Jerry or whatever cartoon, and then here is a video. Immediately you will get a notice letter from Disney for infringement of copyrights. How can you make it sure it is legal? Think about it. How will you scale? Again, it goes back to AMR. Is it achievable, measurable, repeatable? How will you scale this with the existing team? How can you expand? How can you grow? How much time will it take for you to make that first rupee in sales in revenue? Which means how much money should you keep spending before the first rupee comes in form of sales? How long will you take to get that platform or the app ready? Will it be 3 months, 6 months, and then you're testing it, and then you're taking it to customers, and the customers might say, I want to use it for free for a month or two. If it's going to take you 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, how will you survive? Where will you get that money to keep paying the software developers, your team, marketing team, you promoting it? How will you beat the competition? So most of you have come up with technology related business or the idea, and technology becomes very obsolete. So after 6 months, whatever you would have built, someone could build it in a day or so. So how will you beat the competition? How can you be ahead of the curve? These are questions that you need to be answering yourself and have clarity. If you don't have answer, it's absolutely fine to say that I don't know. I don't have an answer, clear answer for some of these questions. Good. Not knowing something is beginning of getting clarity rather than faking or trying to make up something. So think, answer all those tough questions. How can we make sure the idea is going to be profitable? For that, here are few questions, few parameters that we need to ask ourselves. Again, keep answering for yourself. PAT, profit after tax, which you find on profit and loss statement. What is that number? Is it going to be more than 10% or will it be less than 5%? Or are you not sure? So this is after generating revenue, top line, you pay all your vendors, suppliers, variable expenses is gone, then you get gross profit, and then you pay all your fixed expenses, operating expenses, overheads, and then you end up with your EBITDA, earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. And then you pay interest if at all you have borrowed it from a bank, some loan or some interest that you have to pay. Then you pay your tax. So what's your profit after tax? What's your bottom line? Business is not just about turnover, it is more about leftover. It is not about how much you make, it is more about how much you keep. Because with this money, can you keep reinvesting back into the business and expand? Or do you have to keep finding more funds to run the business? Do you have to always be dependent on investors' money to keep running until you somewhere hit the break even? Again, it's not about right or wrong, it's about you having all the answers to a great extent. How much time will it take for you to break even? Will it be under 3 years? Will it be less than 3 years? Somewhere in between? Or you don't know? If you don't know, just tick I don't know, which means you haven't really thought through. You haven't really done the forecasting. You haven't really measured. See, it's like India, England. Unfortunately, India lost. Not unfortunately, they played well. England played well to chase that 300 plus runs. Next test match, whoever is going to bat first, the two opening batsmen, they will not walk onto the ground saying that, you know what, let us score whatever runs it is, it's fine. No, they'll have a game plan. They'll say, first day, first session, let's ensure that we are going to score so much, which means scoring so much is having some number in mind. They're measuring something. So similarly, when you start that business of yours, first 6 months, how much revenue or how much money needs to go out of the business of your startup? And when will I really hit that break even? Time for positive cash flow, which means with the money that is getting generated within the business, money coming in, when will it be more than money going out? And when will money coming in be first compared to money going out? Or should the money first go out of the business and when the money will come in? If money has to go out of the business first, and if you don't have money, then you'll have to borrow. But if you are able to get money first and then you have to pay, that's positive cash flow. How long will it take? Will it happen within 2 years? After 2 years? Not sure. What is the return on investment potential? Not for investors, but also for you if you are investing your money to begin with. What's the ROI? Is it more than 15, 20%? Somewhere between that? Is it less than 10%? If it is less than 10%, then you have to seriously think about it. Let's say you want to invest 10 lakhs in this business of yours. What's the ROI? Are you hoping that after 3, 5 years, the ROI will be more and you will be able to sell? Or are you not sure? What's the capital requirement? Again, I haven't put any number here. I have mentioned low and very high simply because for many of us, 10 lakhs is like, oh, 10 lakhs, it's fine. For others, it's like, oh, 10 lakh rupees. That's like my 10 years of saving. So I don't know your risk appetite. So do you think the investment that you are going to in your own startup, is it low or high? What's the exit mechanism? Do you have a plan in mind on what is that you want to do with the startup? Do you want to sell part of the share and bring in more investors on board? Or do you want to merge it after 5, 10 years? Do you think your business or the solution that you're offering will be relevant even after 5 or 10 years? So what's the exit mechanism? Can you see it? Or you don't know. If you don't know, but you don't know, as simple as that. Then you can start thinking from that perspective. What's the real value the customer is going to see? High strategic value, or is it low strategic value? How about the competition? How will you survive? These are the questions that you should be asking yourself. And many of them will start with a guess, assumption, you not being very clear, because you're like, oh, I don't know how much I'm going to spend on this. I don't know how many people will download, how many of them will really subscribe. Great, okay, I don't know is a good place to start, where you can then reach, kind of know, I somewhat know, oh, to a great extent, I know what's happening. For that, you have to keep track of all numbers. What is that we can measure? Only numbers. And what gets measured gets managed. So to ensure your business is profitable, these are the questions one has to ask themselves. Any questions regarding testing the viability of an idea? Yes, no. Okay, Dinesh is saying unable to see the full screen. Shashi, can you pin my window spotlight tile for everyone? Okay.
It is visible, sir.
Okay. Because Dinesh has said unable to see the full screen. Okay.
No, it is visible, sir.
Visible. Okay, good to know. Okay, any questions at this stage? Or are we good to continue? Okay. So finally, let me end the session with this particular 3 sentences. It will be like a homework for you. Again, now being a lecturer, professor myself, I teach at some of the business schools in Australia to executive MBA students. We love giving homework. Well, the intention is you start thinking with whatever you have heard in today's session. Otherwise, knowledge without execution, without implementation will become an entertainment. And that is what people are doing today on a lot of social media platforms. They just keep swiping. Oh, this is good, that is good. They'll forward to all their friends, give all those gyans. But what have you done with it? Have you executed? Have you done something in your life? Have you, the learning, is it something that you're implementing on yourself? If not, it's just another entertainment, killing time. So I would like all of you to make a note of this, take a screenshot if required, complete it when you get a chance, because the 3 sentences that you're going to see on the screen, I have spent more than 6 months discussing with a lot of mentors and coaches in my network. It's how can we squeeze the business plan into a business model canvas, and then even that business model canvas, how can we compress it into these 3 sentences? That is what it is. If our client or customer gives us dash rupees, we or I will give them dash within dash hours or days. So in Jayvershan's app, if his client will give them, let's say it's a subscription model, and if they're going to pay him 1,000 rupees, let's say monthly subscription, if Jayvershan will be completing saying this, if our client gives us 1,000 rupees per month, I or we will give them 1 month subscription for our app within few minutes or within that particular day. Another example. Now I have authored a couple of books. If my customer gives 500 rupees, I will give them a copy of my book within 24 to 48 hours. If it's my training business, if my client gives me rupees 3 to 5 lakhs, I will give them a customized 4-week program for their business team and managers, again within 2 months. Each and every word has been picked and we have thought through it a lot. First question you should be answering yourself is it client or customers that you are going to sell your product or service? Which means, are you in a B2B or a B2C business? And do you have a plan, strategy? What is that idea that you have to offer to them? Next, what is the selling price of your product or service? How did you come up with that number? Whether it is 100 rupees, 500 rupees, 1000 rupees. And what's the profit margin that you're going to have on that number? Have you really thought through it? So, which means all the numbers, profit after tax, everything will come here. We or I. So, are you one person or do you have business partners? Do you have a team? Which means whatever you're doing as of now, is it a hobby? Is it a practice or a business? Hobby is like, okay, I'm doing it. It's something that I do it, even if I make money or I don't make money, it's fine. I just enjoy. Hobby. Practice is person dependent. Business is process dependent. Many small to medium scale businesses have seen business owners, they call themselves as business owners, but I tell them, I'm sorry, you're running it still as a practice. Because if you don't go to office tomorrow, most of the decisions cannot be made by someone else. They'll always come back to you and they'll keep asking you. Lawyers practice, accountants practice, doctors practice. Me as a professional speaker, I practice, which means I stop, revenue stops. Whereas business is process dependent. Even if we don't go, the show goes on. Our family business is manufacturing carton box. So if my father doesn't go to the factory to his business, still the box gets manufactured because there's a process in place. We or I will give them dash. Are you selling a product or a service or both? And why should someone buy from you and not someone else? Why is your product or service so unique? Is there a delta 4? What's the value proposition? And finally, it comes to efficiency. How fast, how quick will you be able to deliver that product or service? How can I immediately experience your product or service? How can I feel it? How will I know this is the solution that solves the problem that I have got? So, as I said, answer these questions for yourself. This will be your homework. We still have a couple of minutes. If you have got any question, I'll be more than happy to answer. So pretty much this is what I wanted to share in today's 60-minute session. So if you've got any question, type it in the chat box or you can unmute and ask. Oh, I've got Jay version asking a question. How can we actually quantify the value our customers will receive? Is there a mechanism or method to do it? So Jay version, when we are trying to measure that is intangible, which means asking someone, you had an ice cream in our restaurant. How much do you like it? Oh, I like it very much. I like it very much is not measurable. So how will you go about measuring it? So this is where you have those ratings and many things. Yes, there are a lot of metrics that you can use to figure out how people are able to see value. And this is where that you have to compare it with the competitors. And you need to know what exactly you are measuring, because many a times people do all this survey and research without really understanding the feedback or the answers that we are getting. Is it really helping us to make decisions? Because what is the intention of doing this research? Why do you want to actually quantify the value? So that you know if you're able to give value and how you can add more value. So it's a tricky thing, but definitely it's doable. And again, the more you start doing it, more data you collect, and data will start saying something. For example, I have another business called YGB Club. It's called You've Got to Believe Club. So it's a platform for people to practice effective communication, to practice self-discipline. Everyone is teaching people. Every place people are learning about communication skills. Okay, but you have to practice. Communication is a skill. You can't learn swimming just by reading books. Swimming is a skill. You have to learn swimming by jumping in the pool. So same thing when it comes to self-discipline, communication, it's a skill. You have to practice. So now initially I thought graduates, people who are in their 20s and 30s would be interested in this. So Facebook ad, Meta ads, we started spending on it, mainly for people in the age group of 20, 30. But for my surprise, most of the people who were enrolling and people who were clicking on the ad were people who were in their 40s. That's when the data started telling us, you know what, these are the people who are in their 40s who now understand the importance of communication, because they're kind of reaching that senior manager role, vice president role. And they've realized if they don't improve communication, if they don't improve or be more self-disciplined, if they're not a better version of themselves, then getting that promotion or being in that space is very difficult. So now they are valuing all the skill and immediately they want to register. Okay, so now a platform is something that they see valuable. But we thought it is for people in the 20s and 30s, but data said otherwise. Again, we had an idea, but the market said, no, we'll expect something else. I hope I've answered that question of yours, Jaya version. Okay, it's already 8 o'clock. Shashi, over to you. It's, I think, time to wrap up unless anyone has got any other question.
Yes, sir.
Naveen is saying the three statements. He's not able to see it very clearly on the screen. Okay, I will read it. You can take a screenshot, Naveen, if required. It's simple. It says, if our client or customer gives us dash rupees, we or I will give them dash within dash hours or day. Okay, over to you, Shashi.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable session, and it is very helpful actually.
Good to know. Thank you. Thank you for having me, Shashi.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Good to end the session.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then. Thank you, everyone. All the very best. Have a nice evening.